Hello and welcome. We have a special episode. We've been trying to do this for so long with these guys. But this is the Armchair Analysts podcast. We're doing a doubleheader, second show this week. But we got a couple great guys on here. Kris and Ty from the Everything Goez podcast. Guys, how the hell are you?
We're doing good, man.
Doing great, man. We finally got this to work out.
We did.
Pleasure being here with you guys.
There's too many handsome guys in one show. We're gonna get in trouble or something. This is gonna be intense. In our show, we beat to death all of the Packers Vikings crap that we could. So we're gonna get a little change of pace here. We're gonna maybe dial down the sports even a little bit, and anything goes, right? So we got these guys on because they've been doing this for a long time. They're really good at what they do. I have all their information on this stream right now, so please check them out if you get a chance. But we want to see why they started doing this, why they've continued to do it, maybe some hurdles that they came up against, maybe when they knew they had something going. So take it away, guys. Bring us down the journey.
Yeah. Well, it was actually, I'll start, I guess. It was me that had the idea. I didn't even want him.
Get that pat on the back, boys.
What's funny is I didn't even want him at first. I wanted my brother, but he kept denying me. So I walked up to him the one day and I was like, listen, if I buy the gear, I really want to talk sports. Will you get into it with me? And he was hesitant, but, we got into it. We started off with like a Thanksgiving foldable table type of thing, kind of crappy environment. It was a crazy setup, but that's just how it all started. Like, we didn't even care if anybody listened. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we just wanted to talk sports.
Yeah. And in the beginning, it was so scary.
Sorry, not to.
What's that?
Where are you guys from?
We're from Pennsylvania. We're in Whitehall, Pennsylvania, north of Philly, about 45 minutes or so from Philly. Okay. And we're not Eagles fans at all. Matter of fact, I don't know if you can see, but the star shines bright in my room, even though it's not bright this year. But in the beginning, it was scary because when you talk sports, you better know your crap because you're gonna have someone out there that's gonna respond to you. And we've had people. We talked about Gary Sanchez, and we had good friends start ripping us apart about certain people, but.
Oh, wow.
We got to the point where, we just speak our mind and give our opinion. If you don't like it, you can click to the next podcast.
Or maybe getting some Twitter duels, maybe, too. That's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the most important thing is we started out, we just wanted to talk to our friends. And we had no idea that it would go to where it's been. I mean, the people that we've had on our show, it's been an absolute blessing. We've learned so much. From behind the scenes of the combine through talking with agents to negotiating deals. We learned a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is pretty deep. And honestly, that's kind of why we even started too. We wanted, we over quarantine, the whole COVID pandemic period.
We started before quarantine. Don't lump us in with all the other quarantine shows. We started a sports podcast and then there wasn't any sports at all.
Yeah. Yeah, so we started in January.
That was some shit. That was fun.
But we went to college together, so we have a close relationship and still wanted to keep
not that close, not like that. No, I'm just kidding. And honestly, that was kind of like he literally texted me like on New Year's Day. He's like, "Oh, we should start a podcast," albeit jokingly, but I'm like, dude, I streamed for years. Like, I covered professional, Dota and stuff. Like, broadcasting's not hard. I already have the equipment. Like, I have the mic. I have everything else. Like, we could do it. And he's like, seriously? And then we kind of spitball. Obviously, I had to get over the hangover first. But, I mean, we worked through it. And, I mean, getting started, though, like, I feel it, though. Like, it's hard. Like, you see, like, only 3 downloads, 4 downloads. It's like, after a while, it's you know what? I don't really care about the numbers. Like, it's I'm working with my friend. It gives us a reason to talk and catch up, and it's awesome because I'm from Wisconsin and he's from Minnesota, so I can bash the hell out of all of his horrible teams all year round now. Like, it was legit, but
you know what? That was one of the things in the beginning that we did. We always focused on the numbers, and then you started putting too much pressure on yourself. And like I said to you before we came on, it was like we were reading the news. We were writing down notes all day long, coming back and just like reading it. And it wasn't really fun. It was getting like blah. And then we just totally stopped worrying about numbers, and we've been having such a great time doing it.
Yeah,
I think that's what's toughest first too. Is like when we first started, we were getting 500, 600 views on YouTube. And, like, obviously you hit your highs, your lows, and at some point you got to remember, like, why are we doing this? I just want to, let people feel like they're on a couch with us talking sports, having a good time. And if it's not a good time, then if I'm just worried about the numbers, it's not going to be a good time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think, and honestly, I feel like our first shows were a lot like that. We'd have like, I mean, especially when we started. I think our first episodes were like the week before the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
most of our backgrounds in NFL, like, I mean, we can talk pretty much any sport, but that's pretty much our bread and butter. And so, like, after that, it's like, well, shit, what else is even going on? We have like UFC. There's some golf going on. Like, it gets pretty dry during the off season. It's like, and then you know they shut down all the sports. It's like, okay, well, damn.
I've learned that
this
there's
gets
a difference
difficult,
between like, I've learned there's a difference between like watching a game and actually paying attention to a game. Too.
We're
Like,
still
when
waiting for you to figure that out and actually learn something, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Well,
That's
you know what's funny is like when before we did this, I'd watch football. I'm like, oh my god, they're overpaid athletes. But when you interview them and you talk to them and you see what they go through, it's like, damn, that totally changed now. I mean, you think about what they go through on an everyday. They're just the grind. I mean, who was it, Ty? It was that guy from the Bears that was on, and he said that when he went to the combine, you don't know what team's calling you into for an interview. He sat down in this room in nothing but his underwear. First thing that happens is they come in. Sean Payton and somebody else from the Saints walk in. They put a play on the board, and then they ask him a bunch of questions. And then at the end, they said, "What was that play that we put on the board?" And he had to remember it. It was just insane. He's like, the things that you go through the combine, it was like, wow, totally different.
Wow. Not to mention you're sitting there in your boxers, like just
As I am right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
Right.
That's cool. And you guys have clearly found your flow. I mean, you're doing what you enjoy doing, and I mean, that's the thing. It's like, because after we got past that point where it was like we were literally just reading stories, it's like, you know what, we do need some kind of outline. We need some sort of like format.
Yeah.
We need to open it up more, because like we were roommates. We lived together in college. Like, we've got some banter. We've got some, you know, jabbing back and forth, and that's what guys do. You know, when we're talking sports, we got to talk a little smack in there. So made it a little bit less serious, and I don't know, having a lot of fun with it. So that's cool.
Well, what's nice too is, you know, at first when you start, you can be the closest of friends, but your chemistry on the mic can be really bad. And that was us at first. Yeah. And it's like, as you start to hit that 1 year, like, there's times we don't even take notes. We'll just hop on and we know each other. We just feed off each other, and it just kind of goes. Like, some of your best podcasts are the worst ones in your mind.
Hey, we got lucky. We interviewed Jarvis Johnson, who I just talked to yesterday again. He played with the Baltimore Ravens with Deion Sanders, and we ended up in the beginning when I talked to him through text. His agent was like, "Are you going to pay him the whole 9 yards?" And I'm like, "We don't get paid to do this. There's no way." So I thought, done deal. We're never going to interview this guy. It's over. He called me the next day and said, "Look, I'm going to do the interview." We talked for almost 2 hours.
Wow.
It was one of the best interviews to this day that we've had. And he invited us. He does work outside of football now, where he takes kids and pro athletes that don't have the degrees, helps them go back to school. It's called Beyond the Game. And they invited us to a red carpet event. We were going to be the only podcast there. And, of course, COVID came. We did our red carpet event through Skype.
Zoom call.
Oh my God, wow.
Hey, man, adapt to the times. Nice.
But could you imagine that? Like, all these people in suits and ties, and I show up in sweatpants and shorts or something. Hey, we're here. Everything Goes podcast.
What up?
But
awesome.
Wait, you didn't tell us what to wear? Aw, dang.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Just
So,
wear the jersey.
when did you guys realize, like, hey, like, we actually have something here? People are listening. They're liking what we're doing. You know, we keep getting guests. I mean, was there like a point where you kind of smacked in the face, or it just...
He creepily found you on Twitter too. He's the one that manages our account, so don't blame him.
I think personally for me personally, I handle all, like, you know, the Instagram, like getting the athletes. The AAF was huge for us.
Yes, when that collapsed, yes.
Because we were able to get these little athletes who were in the pros, like maybe a year, maybe practice squad, and we were getting a bunch. And I was like, oh, we're getting there. But after, like, you know, you hit that one big athlete, you wouldn't get another big one for a while. But then we started hitting them nonstop. I was like, all right, like, we're starting to get something. Like, every athlete's starting to top the next one. Like, it's not like we're going straight down anymore. Like, once we started hitting, like, the Rob Ryan, and, like, they give you your number, like, text me anytime. Like, I'm happy to come back on again.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. Like, okay.
I have a phone full of freaking athletes' numbers now that I could just randomly just text them, but so does Ty. But I think COVID, that really helped us because that helped us get athletes on. The only thing that sucks is the downside of interviewing athletes, and you're not on their schedule. You have to wait for them. You know what? They don't give a crap about you. They really don't. They just, the one night we waited for a guy after a game who said, "Yeah, come on." We waited till 11:30 at night. Never called. Yeah. Jonathan Papelbon screwed us over not once but 3 nights in a row. Yeah. So
he screwed over the Red Sox too on some game.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing that I'll say too is when we would have these athletes on, like you can even ask him, when we literally have the phone on the desk almost like it's draft night and you're waiting for this random number to call you. And like I would be shaking there. I'm like, why am I so nervous to talk with this guy? And like you'd almost go into a script with these guys where it's like I'm not myself. So there came a point like after we're waiting for all these guys where I told him, I was like, listen, this is our podcast. If they come on and they don't like it, I'm gonna be relaxed and I'm gonna be myself. If they don't like it, they don't come back on. So the breaking point for me was when we had Rob Ryan, Hugh Jackson. After they told us they would only talk for 10 minutes, they gave us an hour and like, hey guys, I enjoyed this. You guys are 2 good guys. I enjoyed this. But see, that's when I'm like, we got a good connection here. This is going good.
But the thing is we never ask negative questions whatsoever. You could feel the tension in the beginning, they're waiting for that shoe to fall and waiting for that hardcore question. We never do that because we want to stay respectful with them, and we want to, there's chances out there that your name can get out there. You'll get more players on. So we never, and that's one of the things we advertise when we talk to them through Twitter or whatever. We don't ask negative questions. If you want to give us 15 minutes, that's fine.
That's awesome. That makes sense too. I mean, nobody wants to be put in that scenario. I mean, especially if you guys aren't giving them questions ahead of time. It's a real dick move just to throw that on. That's a really dick move. No,
TK went to school at Saquon Barkley. He knows him.
We've been close. We've been close to getting him.
We can't get him on the podcast because
he can't get on the field.
But you have to go through his PR rep.
Sure.
And it's a nightmare. It really is.
I'm sure they don't really give a shit about a lot of things too. That's rough.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to want to probably try to sell something too in a format in some way.
You'd think he'd have some free time in his last couple of seasons, but hey.
Most seasons.
I mean, we've even had sponsorship opportunities through one of the guys that played for the Yankees. He's like, I'll come on, but then I want you guys to promote my product, and I'll give you guys a code or whatever. What was it, Ty, you wanted to give us? Some kind of a...
it seemed cool first, but then he wanted us to buy all these products first, and I was like, I just want you to come on the podcast, talk with us. I'm not trying to get into all your products and stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
I think you're bringing up a good point, though. Honestly, trying to get these guys on, just being straightforward, and we haven't necessarily networked in that way yet. We've gotten the professional league, like a lower league baseball here in Minnesota. I was able to get their PA announcer or the TV broadcaster announcer on.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, he was actually really good interview.
He's also super well connected too. You'd be surprised the amount of people that other people know. Hey, if you ever need anything, just let me know and we'll talk to whoever.
Yeah. So definitely taking the leap, especially on any sort of social avenue, is huge. So I'm glad you guys are explaining this in a good way. Just go out and do it, basically.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I would say too is we would get an athlete on and we would have this high we can't interview these other guys. A guy would message us and I'd be like, he's a little lower. But what we started to realize too is people in your community, if you have someone who's a boxer or a baseball player that's getting ready to go to a big college, your local players, people know that name. That's a big place to start too. And then just something else that I've always personally pushed for, because again, I'm always the media guy, so I'm watching all these podcast shows. Pat McAfee show, that's a big influence for me.
Yeah.
You can never be comfortable. So we never videotaped at first. We were just doing audio, and your views are high, then they start to drop. So you always got to do something new. So we added the video, and then we start to add, other, athletes. And it's there's always more you can do to intrigue other people.
For sure. Well,
but I tell you what, though, the best interviews that we ever do, though, are ones like this with everyday normal guys, because you can just feel free to shoot the shit, do what you want to do. I mean, we sat out on our back deck one day with a kid from Ty's baseball team and just talked for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's the way to do it. And then, you don't have to worry about, working with someone else's agenda or anything. Like, you're doing what you want. You're asking the questions you want, and you're getting, not like you have, like, a real agenda, but, like, you're covering the topics you want to talk about. And that hopefully you know about. I wish my co-host was there along those lines, but it's okay. He's learning. We need a stats guy, bro. We need just like after you say something, just to be like, hey, no, that's not true.
We come across that already where we've said something and it's like, stats guy, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, Kate, so speaking of that, I thought the Vikings were playing at Dallas. It's the complete opposite. Johnny is actually at Minnesota. So we do this Aces Quick Six prop bets, and he was going off the hunch that they were actually playing at Dallas.
I don't think it matters. Does it matter? Like,
No.
Maybe not.
Nobody's stopping Dalvin anyway. The Bears did it up until Hicks went out.
Back, though.
Hey, that Saints defensive line will stop that Dalvin though.
They didn't stop Aaron Jones. I
don't
know, bro.
Now that they're hot and we're hot, that would be a good. I'd like to see that in a first-round playoff.
They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in over 46 games.
And Stephon Diggs isn't on the team anymore, so there goes that.
I don't. So whatever. Man.
Hey, I picked Minnesota to win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh,
really?
Ooh.
Yeah,
wow.
I really did. I picked Pittsburgh to win that division. I picked Arizona to win theirs, and I picked Minnesota to win the Super Bowl.
My buddy was high on Arizona too. Wait, you picked Arizona to win the Super Bowl too? Jesus.
No, Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
So I guess along those lines, if we could just briefly go over your allegiances, just you got the star. We see it shines bright for this Christmas season. Not super bright this year, but you got Yankees, Michigan.
I'm bright in that draft pick order now.
There you go, optimist. I like that. And then, you got the Saints over there. You got Noodle Arm Breeze on the sideline with a punctured lung. No, I'm just kidding.
That's an instant Hall of Famer.
Oh, for sure. But, the NFC just looks like garbage in general, right? We can all agree on that, right? The NFC, the AFC just looks like garbage.
You know what's sad? The Eagles are the number 4 seed right now.
And they're talking about adding an A seed. Like, no. The teams that are getting in don't even deserve to get in.
Yeah.
Like, if Dallas makes the playoffs, I'm finding a new team, because you're going to go from getting a good pick to going to like the 21st pick just because you made the playoffs. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
plus, I'd like to see an entire division, the NFC West, get in. I think that would be cool.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that division looks good.
Yeah, but the Niners, you can't count on them for any sort of consistency.
No.
Damn. Even when Jimmy G's healthy, it looks really rough. I'm sorry, man. I'm still bitter. Obviously, I'm a Packers fan, so last year was rough. I didn't even want. As soon as they clinched, I was like, I don't even want to see the playoffs. Like, we can't compete. We're the worst 13-3 team in NFL history. Like,
hey, we had John Kuhn on the podcast, and he agreed with me. He said Rodgers is going to go off this year. I said Rodgers is going to light it up this year. And he's like, you're absolutely right. He's like, I know him better than anyone. He's going to go off. He's like, he hears the media chirping. He's going to put on the show.
Well, and I think LaFleur finally was like, you know what? We tried running the ball. Let's try it your way, And it would have been cool if they added someone for him to throw to. But hey, who am I? What do we know? We're not GMs. But damn, dude. Shut up, Justin Jefferson. Get out of here. Get out of here. You guys got to be pretty excited though. Lamb obviously was looking amazing before Prescott went down. Honestly, I not even joking. I actually had Cooper and CeeDee Lamb in fantasy. Like, I don't care. I'll start both of them. I'll pick up Gallup too. I'll grab Gallup. Let's go. Let's get everyone. But that injury is rough, dude. And do they tag him again? Is he even going to be able to make that decision come possible?
If I'm the GM, I'm putting the transition tag on him so they can listen to offers. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to pay him $40 million a year, and that's what it's going to come down to.
And really, even after his injury? You got to think that affects the price tag a bit.
Well, the transition tag is going to be 37, 38 next year.
That's what I'm saying.
He's looking close to 40. That's what he wants.
I don't know if he's really in a place to bargain like that.
Well,
yeah, that's a good point.
It's going to come down to his agent too. His agent left CAA. So hopefully he left. I think he screwed Dak knowing he was going to go out on his own. So he wanted Dak to be that big piece to go with him.
Sure. Well, you got to have your corner piece client.
If I'm Dallas, I'm talking to the Colts. I'm talking to the New England. I'm talking to teams like that and saying, hey, what do you want to offer for him? because you can get a decent pick for sucking and get another first round pick for trading him. Sounds good to me.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I'm all for a new quarterback every 5 years. Get rid of the rookie deal. Give me a new quarterback.
That's how it goes, man. The teams that like Russell Wilson, the Seahawks, they were able to pay for the LOB and all of those amazing players on the defense because they had Russell under a rookie contract. As soon as they gave him that big money, and then the other contracts started to come up, I mean, that defense fell apart pretty quickly, and now they're Jesus. That defense is so bad right now. By the way, Moneyline Cardinals, Ace, if you haven't already placed a bet. Lock it in. Lock it in. Lock it in.
Wait, no, hold up. Other side. I'm going other side.
All right.
Who are you playing?
They're playing Seattle.
Yeah, Cardinals.
Yes,
Seattle.
Russell's looking weak the last 4 games or something like that. It's time.
After getting crowned MVP mid-season? Yeah.
and DeAndre Hopkins got added to the 99 level list for Madden, so he's going to come out for like 200 yards receiving. He's only like 7 guys with 99 ratings. He's there.
Yeah, well. So, Saints, what's your outlook right now? I mean, Breeze is out, not necessarily the worst thing. You got a couple decent quarterbacks in their stead.
No, this is the biggest topic in our household. This is the one that Ty and I always argue about.
Taysom or Jameis?
No, Michael Thomas being the best receiver in the NFL.
That was last year. That was last year. It was different. It was different last year.
He's still not either way. Like he's like the Marvin Harrison. Like Marvin Harrison just got fed the ball. Like so obviously he's gonna have production because I mean Breeze is just checking down passes to him. Like
yeah,
dinking and dunking with him. He had what 143 receptions.
He went off last year. But as far as quarterback situation goes, I don't think you can start Taysom just because I think this is Winston's audition. Which I don't think he looked good when he came in. I think he tried to force the ball right away to Thomas, which was a bad idea. You got to give it to Kamara. Kamara's putting up MVP numbers as a running back. But I don't even know if I like Winston. I really don't. I would love to draft a quarterback. I wanted Jalen Hurts last year. I really did. That's who I wanted.
Well, see, the problem with Jameis is now he has 20/20 vision again, so everything looks clear. He's not used to throwing the clear images, But I think they have to find an answer because Drew Brees is going to NBC football next year for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So they have to find an answer.
I think Winston can be a good quarterback if he gets the right practice. But I think no matter what next year, I don't want Taysom as a starting quarterback. I think he's too good of an army knife to just be a quarterback. He's a good running back. He's a good tight end. He's a good receiver. He's a good tackler. He can do everything.
He can block too. Hello.
yeah. And he ran a faster 40 than Julio Jones, Stephon Diggs, like all these guys in the league. Like the guy's a beast.
I don't know what their cap space is, but couldn't you see them letting both them go?
Oh, for sure.
So the reason I told him the other day, this is the year that the Saints have to make the Super Bowl because they're projected to be about $80 million over the cap space next year. So they're going to start clearing house. Breeze is going to leave, and then this is the last year you're probably going to see the Saints be like top elite contenders.
But that's the thing. No one knows what the cap's going to do. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Is it going to stay the same?
I mean, what's been 6 years in a row they bumped it at an average of 10 to 11 million every year. So everyone's talking, oh, this is the biggest quarterback deal. I'm like, yeah, well, the cap's been up every year too, man. And when you bump it up 8% every year, I mean, you have all that extra cash to play with. But
can you imagine if the cap doesn't go up and it goes down a little bit or stays the same? The fire sale on people that are going to be in the NFL.
I really hope it does go down. Honestly, not. I don't want to see the chaos that ensues, but I really would like. Just to see I would like it to be less of a quarterback league. I know that'll never happen because the emphasis on the passing game now it's rough, dude. I mean, no offense, but Captain Checkdown Drew Brees, I don't want to see that. I don't want the high percentage stuff. I want to see Rodgers slinging it 70 yards to MVS, watching Devontae.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, I grew up with him slinging the ball to Marcus Colston. Like I used to love seeing that. My only defense against this though is you have a guy in your back pocket like Alvin Kamara who is skinny but nobody can tackle. Would you not check the ball down at him?
For sure. And the thing is, it's hard to defend that. Like even if he wasn't as elusive and as quick and agile as he was, like it's hard to defend that because you have people, especially when you're you have passing options. What do? You don't have someone on him every time. You have to get something on him.
If I'm a defensive coordinator, you know what I'm doing? I'm bringing everyone down in the box. Make Drew Brees throw it over 15 yards. That's what I'm doing. I'm loading the box. Dump it off. I'm going to have 5 people there on him.
Having the personnel for that, though, there's not a lot of teams that have the ability to do that. So
yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
What's nice is he's been opening it up lately, though. This past 3 games before he's got injured, he's been throwing the ball compared to the first 3 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad that we played the Saints early to get that out of the way back when they were kind of gun shy and he was they were afraid to open up that playbook. So
yeah,
fortunate to get that win because down the road that's going to be a big win having that head-to-head victory. But I do want to point out how pissed off that I am that Taysom Hill actually was a Green Bay Packer first, but Mike McCarthy had no idea what to do with the guy. Talented as hell, but didn't know what to do with him.
And that goes into Sean
Mike McCarthy right back.
Yeah, I remember when I was talking to you earlier, right when I found your guys' podcast, I was like, so many Cowboys fans were so excited to get McCarthy. Like, we have a real coach. I'm like, you guys don't realize how similar he is to Jason Garrett. Like, 2 coaches that will not change their game plan. They're going to go with what they know, and if it doesn't work, they're just going to keep trying it.
Hey, I'll take Jason Garrett, though. I don't care. At least I've got 8-8.
That's true. That's true.
8-8 in the NFC East, you might win the championship in the East.
Easily. Yeah, hoist that banner already. Come on. Yeah, it's rough to watch that division. And it's happened a few years now where they've just been – every team does not want to win the division crown. Like, they're just trying to get it away. But also, I will admit, though, those are the most fun games to watch. The AFC North division battles and the NFC East division battles because they beat the crap out of each other every time they play, and they hate each other.
Yeah, they both could have.
Go ahead, Ty.
They could both be having the worst seasons ever and have the best game ever.
Oh, for sure. Like, people are being crabby about awful Thursday night games. I'm like, dude, just do NFC East or AFC North. Like, you'll get a game. You'll get a game.
Yeah.
The thing that aggravates me the most about Dallas is they bring in Nolan, who has never had a defense ranked higher than 25th in the NFL, and they think it's the best thing ever. I'm like, and then you bring in Poe and you bring in Griffith and you bring in all these old guys that are older, and we let them go. Now we're $35 million in dead cap space. It's just like, Jerry, die already.
Did I not say? Did I not? Okay, so before we did this, I had Ace on the phone. I was like, you know what? I guarantee at some point, if we talk about the Cowboys enough, we will get him to say something about Jerry Jones dying. Or I said my quote was that you will say something about dancing on his grave.
Yeah. It's too long.
That's the part about being a fan. And you know what? When Rodgers is gone and we're stuck with Jordan Love, I'm gonna be a crabby, miserable bastard too. So hey,
Well, you know what? I hope to God that the Green Bay Packers piss off Rodgers enough that he comes down to Dallas after we trade Dak over to Indianapolis.
It's gonna be a Brett Favre thing, man. He's gonna want to stick it to Green Bay if they.
Oh yeah.
But could you see him in Dallas with all those weapons?
I know God. That. You mean Lambeau South? His second greatest stadium.
That's right.
He might, dude. He plays so well there. Honestly, I don't think he wants to go back to McCarthy. So you're gonna have to ship his fat ass somewhere. But I think he'd entertain it probably.
You know what's funny is my other son's a Cowboys fan and he loves Dak. I mean, he's got a crush on Dak. I'm a Romo guy. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish Dak would just get hurt enough for Romo to come back and shine. And then, of course, what happens? He breaks his ankle. Romo's up in the booth. I'm like, Superman, go get your uniform on, man. He still got it in there.
I mean, if Witten can take a year off in the booth and come back, I mean, you saw how skinny he was, right? Like, he lost like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
He was just a twig. I mean, Romo can go back. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I think after the back injuries, though, he's done.
Yeah. I just want to see Romo. I want to see Romo get one championship. That's all I wanted to see. Never had the perfect team.
Dude, he's making more money than some of these players.
I'm about to say, like,
calling the best plays.
You guys have interviewed enough players. You know what their off season and during the season, what they have to go through. He's making way more than that. Just sitting with a suit, just saying, "Hey, this guy's gonna do this. Watch, Nance. Look what he's gonna do," and he does.
He's a great commentator. You're
talking man crush. I got a man crush on Roma. Obviously, it was hard to root for him when because they played the Packers so often, but. Now it's like, dude, you got like Collinsworth. I mean, Gruden was still around back then too, and it's like you got the same guys. It's like he mixes it up and he makes it fun,
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. All right, Ace, do you want to get their picks for Vikings Cowboys? Bring it home for us.
Yeah. So we do a segment called the Aces Quick Six, and we're just gonna do 3.
Oh yeah.
We'll do Quick Six Light. Quick 6 light.
Yeah, it'll be so. The first one is who are you in favor of on the point spread, Dallas or Minnesota? And I think last I checked, it was -7.
I'm Minnesota all day.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That defense isn't going to stop Cook.
There's no line. Dalton's starting again. I hope it's
The Red
competitive a
Rifle?
little. I hope it's competitive for the first quarter, and that's it. Just enough for me to watch it, and then it's like, go ahead, blow us out. I don't care. I want that number 2 pick.
That line is, I think, kind of low. I agree.
I wouldn't want to be a quarterback right now on that team. That offensive line is terrible.
So they're out Smith. Who else? They had Frederick. Is he even?
He retired.
You know, I do got to give the Cowboys props for giving Smith another chance. I mean, when they said his name, because I think they played the first primetime game. I think they were part of the doubleheader or something. But I heard Aldon Smith's name. I'm like, no way. It can't be the same dude. And you know, they go through his rap sheet and all the stuff that he had to go through to get back. And I'm like, I mean, the dude's been playing well, and I can't imagine his salary's that much, and it can't be much more than Fat Min. So that's I got to give him credit where credit's due. That's. Shit, I wish the Packers had somebody like that. Damn. All right, what's the next one, Ace?
Next one, Dallas total field goals. So just for Dallas alone, the over/under set at 1.5 for field goals. I wanted to do
4.
At
I was gonna say that's the only way they're gonna score.
We're gonna get 12 points all off field goals.
Fair enough. Yeah, the over/under for touchdowns was set at 1.5, and I thought I don't know.
Oh, wow.
For Dallas?
Yeah, 1.5. So it's same field goals and same with touchdowns. I don't know.
Does a pick 6 count for the Cowboys? I guess that's
we have to get an interception first. I mean, I think we have 3 all year.
That's still a completion though for Red Rifle, so that's good for him. That's good.
Last one. Will there be a scoreless quarter? Yes or no?
Oh, absolutely.
For Dallas, there's gonna be 3 of them.
All right. If you are so down on the Cowboys, you have the Bears offense, you have the Cowboys offense. They're on the field at the same time. Who scores first? Or does nobody score?
Nobody.
Honestly,
if it's in Chicago, it's too windy for a field goal.
they put Gilbert in last week, who was the star of the AAF, and he played well against the Steelers defense. He was not afraid. Usually you get a quarterback come in, he dumps the ball off to the running back. This guy was slinging the ball off the first play to Cooper. And now they're bringing Dalton back.
That's Jerry Jones' secret weapon right there for the negotiations for Dak.
Gilbert?
Yeah.
we got a corner piece of the franchise. We can get rid of him. Yeah.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, Minnesota is going to beat Dallas 35-12.
Bet the farm. We're good. Lock it in.
Lock it in. 35-12.
Well, I thought Dallas was going to win when I realized that they were playing in Dallas, but that now that
there's no home field advantage. Like it's dome or dome.
Hey,
with
with Kirk Cousins as quarterback, you never know what might happen. You never know.
Hey, he got his first win. He got his first Monday night win on Monday. Everybody, come on, 1-9. 1-9.
I like Kirk Cousins. Don't get me wrong, but there's just a lot of
Minnesota's going to win and go 5-5. They're going to get into the playoffs and they're going to win the Super Bowl. Make my prediction right.
Oh, that would be great.
Put like $20 on it in the beginning of the season, and all of a sudden they rattle off 5 wins straight.
Yeah.
I mean, their schedule's not super hard. I mean, you already lost the games you're probably going to lose anyway.
Yeah, we'll talk with you the lead up to the Super Bowl when they're facing whoever.
I mean, you got an extra wild card, and if we end up rescheduling games, you're going to get an extra playoff team again. So, I mean, you never know.
And I'll tell you right now, the Giants are going to pass the Eagles. They're going to win the division for the East.
Man, Danny Dimes? I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for
I'm
that.
not either. I'm not either, but the way they're playing lately, I can see it.
The way that division's playing lately, shit, anything goes.
What is there, 5 total wins in that division, maybe 6?
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like you want to get excited for Alex Smith after all the crap he's gone through to come back and start a game.
Yeah, 500 passing yards.
You know, he had a game of his life, but it's just there's nothing else on that team. There's just
because he's always been a winning quarterback wherever he's went too.
And the thing is, that line, man, it's already killed 2 quarterbacks, man. you gotta think it's like, dude, you almost died. You actually almost died. And this line, it could happen again. And if it does, I don't know, man.
Yo, if you're a quarterback and you want a leg injury, go to Washington.
Apparently, yeah, right on the 50, you'll just sever the bone in half. Oh my god, man. Wow. Yeah. All right. So you said final score. What did you say? 32-12.
35-12.
35-12. Okay. All right. Bet the farm. There you go. Get easy money. It ain't gambling if you know what's gonna happen, right? So.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for being on with us. It was great to get a little bit more of your backstory, see what you guys are all about, talk a little smack about Michigan and.
No, that's a whole nother podcast.
No, we have like an explicit label. We don't have anything else higher than that for the curse words necessary, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
No, it was really good to have you guys on. Please check these guys out at Goez with a Z everything. They're all on YouTube, anywhere that you guys download a podcast. Check them out. They're good shit. Kris, Tyler, thank you guys. Have an awesome night.
Thank you guys.
I'm not gonna say go Vikes. I'm not gonna say go Cowboys, but it'll be an interesting game. Is it the early game, noon, right?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't pay much attention.
Hey, dude, when Rodgers broke his collarbone, I had to watch Brett Hundley. I might not have watched as much as I did before. So
We're getting Romo and Nance again, I think, in prime time.
Ooh.
We might be. It's 325. Who knows?
Good deal.
Or we get Buck and Aikman.
The question is how much of the game am I gonna watch? That's the question. Seriously.
How much do you value your naps during the day?
Yeah.
A lot.
Good deal. Awesome. All right, Ace. What do you got? Anything cool? Anything funny you want to tell us?
Check them out. I'm glad we did this. This is awesome.
No, it's
and
cool.
yeah.
We finally figured out the technology barrier.
Hey, it was a pleasure.
No,
It was a pleasure.
We definitely got to do it again, man. There's so much more we could talk about.
we could.
Oh, absolutely. We didn't even get into college.
No,
No.
that was intentional.
Oh,
That was
okay.
intentional. All right, guys. And thanks for watching a special episode. Appreciate it. If you're not already, give us a follow on Twitter at AA Podcast on all the platforms and on the YouTubes. But this is it. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching.
Have a good night, guys.